Hello guys, third attempt, believe it or not. I'll be showing you guys the second part of no friction. So first step is find value type, writable, unknown initial value. So this is the second part of our no friction script. Reason is because this time I'm going to show you guys how you can make a little setting thing for it so that you can interact with how much friction you want your character to have in Minecraft. And it's actually completely different than the first video. So once you have your Y velocity, you're just going to want to freeze them until you see that you can't jump anymore. And just pin down which one truly is the value that we're looking for. This one? Oh yeah. Okay then. So it is this one. So once we find our Y velocity, we're going to want to, I'm going to do that. We're going to want to browse in memory region and set our display type to float. So this is our Y velocity. It's you can see that they're the same value, just that this one's rounded up a little. And the one to the right should be our Z coordinate, our Z velocity I mean. And if we go to the left here, we'll find our X. This one. Let's organize them a little. X, Y, and Z. And now that we have all three, we can find out what accesses this address. So amongst these instructions, one of these interact with friction, but we already know that this one is the one that interacts with friction, since in the last video we already found that. But let's just test it out really quick. Yeah, we can accelerate, but from side to side, we can't accelerate all that well. But the good thing is that the Z velocity friction is just really close, awfully close. So if we knock this one and we also knock this one, we have infinite velocity either way. But the only annoying thing is that even if you let go of the keyboard, I'm not touching the keyboard right now, you just keep on moving, and you have to stop yourself manually. Absolutely no friction. So that's why we need the little setting thing. And if we look a little more in depth into these instructions, we can see that XMM1 is the instruction, is the register that's writing into RCX plus 18. In this case, RCX plus 18 would be this address right here, the value 0. So what this instruction does, in more simpler terms, is that once we start moving, and then we stop, you can see that the value gradually goes down until it reaches 0, or up, depending on where you're moving So we can use this instruction here to rewrite what XMM1 is, so that we can modify our friction better. So auto assemble, it'll be injection, and this is what we're going to change. MULSS XMM1 XMM0. So in this case, XMM0 is what's holding the information, not XMM1. So we're going to replace XMM0 with our own thing. So we're going to register our own symbol. Register symbol. I'm going to click as in friction, and we're going to make it a label. Every time, it's a #1 rule. Every time you register a symbol, you always have to unregister it in the under the disable section. Unregister symbol fric. So now that we have our own symbol, it's similar to these XMM registers. We're going to want to give it a default value. So we'll give fric a default value of 1. And we're going to use this 1 to replace XMM 0. Fric. Once you use one of these personalized symbols, you always have to put it in brackets. Always, always. Never, I don't think that there's a case where you can use these registers without brackets. So let's test this out, see if it works how intended. So if this does work, I should have no friction at all. Yep, no friction, even when I let go of the keyboard. But the only annoying thing is that it's true friction, true no friction. But if we were to change this value to 0.95, you can see that our friction will start to slowly go down, even if it's less. So it'll always keep going up. It'll never stop going up. And it'll also decrease slower. We can set this to slightly higher, maybe 99. And even if it's just a little bit, we have friction. Letting go of the keyboard, and eventually it'll reach 0. But the only problem is, we still haven't done the Z value. Still need to do the Z value, right? So if we were to go back into the memory region and see what accesses, or what interacts with this, we will see that XMM1 gets interacted by XMM2, and XMM2 gets written by XMM3. So in the long run, we're going to have to change XMM3 in our script. So in here, we're multiplying the script XMM2 is writing into XMM1, but if we can just change XMM3, it should make a little chain reaction and finally reach the instruction that actually works with friction. So if we move XMM3, this is kind of just a little assumption. I don't know if it'll work. I might have to change it. Oh, by the way, since it's XMM registers, you always have to do MOV and then SS, the command and then SS. Let's see if this works. Yep, works. Really easy. So now you'll see that both of these have near to no friction, but if I were to let go, you'll see that it slowly go back to normal. But now we want to interact with this number here, right? Outside of the script. Since we've already registered this symbol and we've already made it a label, we can just go to add address manually, just type in fric. We can put it here, and since this value is float as placed here, float, I'm going to want to change the type from 4 bytes as it is default and into float. You can see that the default value that I put here, 0.99, is right here. can change this to 0, and it'll interact with the script even if you don't see it in real time. So now you see I have a ton of friction, barely move. You can set it to 1, I have no friction. You can set it to 0.5. Now I have kind of like an in between. What about 0.8? Well, I bet you get it. So that is you make a a better version of no friction with a way to modify how much friction you have. Just one tip, you can probably, if you want to, you can make a hotkey so once you press W, your friction goes to 1, and then restore it back to original on release. So if I were to set this to 0, if I move using ASD, I'll go really slow. I press W and accelerate really fast, then I'll let go, and I freeze. You can combine this with maybe a fly script. You can also combine this with maybe a swim script, so that you can fly midair even when there's no water. And yeah, that's the improved version of Friction Part 2. Yep. Hope you liked it.